Let's talk about Cam Coleman. He's like David Stone, one of the two true freshmen that we're actually talking about today. And the reason why I'm talking about him is because I think he can make an immediate impact on this Auburn team. Like, is he not like when he walks in the building? Is there not a very good chance that he's the best wide receiver on this team?
He is. And if he is what we think he is, what I think he is, what everyone thinks he is. I mean, their leading wide receiver last year had 347 yards. I get it. I
Is it
get
a
it.
wide
Peyton
receiver
Thorne was,
problem though, or was it also a quarterback problem?
it can be both. I think it can be both. Hugh Freeze can scheme up open guys, right? You have to have playmakers go make some plays. And Cam Coleman is that. He's everything you want in a wide receiver. 6'3", 180 pounds as a true freshman, number 3 overall in the 2024 recruiting class. And to be honest, if it wasn't a guy named Jeremiah Smith, who was the number 1 overall player in the whole class of 2024, he'd be getting so much more buzz because of how good he is, how dominant he is. But you're seeing these true freshman wide receivers come in to major college football and make plays right away. And I believe Cam Coleman is no different, which is exactly why he's on this list.
Yeah, so other receivers in this receiving room that are notable. I'll start with Robert Lewis, guy that probably profiles more as like a slot guy, but we know how those Georgia State slot receivers turn out. You're looking at Jamari Thrash from last year, heading over to Louisville. He was very effective. I think Robert Lewis is just as good, just as talented. So he could definitely produce in there. Also, Caleb Burton. If you're a Texas high school football fan, you probably remember him playing for Lake Travis. He went to Ohio State. He transferred what I believe was last year, 2 years
Yep.
ago, uh, to Auburn. So he should be a fairly big name to look out for as well. I It'll just be interesting to see because they never got the quarterback. I don't believe they never got the quarterback. I thought they were gonna get the quarterback, and they just never did. Even
Now, there's still time.
Jordan McLeod just committed today to
Great
Texas State.
get. Great get for Texas State there.
Great, TJ Kin just balling out there per usual. But that's a guy that I kind of expected to go to Auburn. Like and Hugh Freeze can do a lot with a little, right? But when you can't do anything, not now your hope for Auburn's like, can this offensive line improve? Last year you thought you had a good offensive line with all these transfers. Turns out G5 transfers don't always translate. Even high level G5 transfers. So it'll be really, really interesting. But Cam Coleman is an absolute freak. He is a freak. If you ask me, he's the best wide receiver in this class. Uh, I'm sure other people have varying opinions on that. You look at a guy like Ryan Williams, who's like just turned 17. You could also think like, okay, well, like Ryan Williams is also a stud, and you look at his age. To me, to me, Cam Coleman is just a freak. I mean, I like Jeremiah Smith. I do. I like him a lot. In fact, I like Jeremiah Smith. So I think like this wide receiver class is insanely loaded at the top end. It is so loaded. It is crazy, right? Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, Ryan Williams, TJ Moore, Micah Hudson, Ryan Wingo, Mike Matthews, Brian Wesco. Uh, I say TJ
Gat-
Moore. I mean, just
Gatlin Bear, a guy we're not going to see for a couple years, who's a freak as well.
yeah, Ashton Bethel Roman. I mean, Bryce Kane, who's on Auburn also. It is a loaded wide receiver class, man. I happen to have the opinion that Cam Coleman is the best. If you watch, make sure you watch his highlights against IMG Academy when uh Central High School from Alabama played against IMG. Cam Coleman he's only 180 pounds, 190 pounds. He looked like he was 220 pounds out there. He absolutely bullied kids. He's physical. He's great catch radius, great hands, great route running ability. He's got it all, man. He's got it all. And he profiles pretty similar to Jeremiah Smith size wise, just probably a little thinner than Jeremiah Smith, but absolute menace. This kid is absolute menace. Any other
He's the
thoughts
guy
on
that
Cam
went,
Coleman?
oh, yeah, I love Cam Coleman. He's the guy that went, right at Elias Robinson, not only in that game, but also in Under Armour All American, and everything that happened there. Cam Coleman was unguardable, which obviously those events are built for wide receivers that can make plays. And he's a guy that's such a mismatch that it was built for him to succeed, but he did. And obviously, no surprise there. I mean, his comp is George Pickens. And I mean, say what you want about him off the, his head and his antics and all that stuff. He is a freak. And that has to get you excited for Auburn, who is desperate for a wide receiver one to be an alpha guy like Cam Coleman is. Yeah, I I love it. He's so ready to come in right away and help him, which is why he's on this list. Because yes, Jeremiah Smith's really good. Yes, Ryan Williams, all these guys, but like who's gonna come in and be the savior for their offense? It's gonna be Cam Coleman. If you tell me a freshman receiver is gonna have over 850 yards, I had to bank on one, it'd be Cam Coleman because of what he's gonna mean to that offense. And that's 500 more yards than any other receiver had on Auburn last year. So that's to me, that's a massive success for Cam Coleman and offense. He's also only 17 years old too. I believe he turns 18 in August. So he is still a young guy as well, developing physically, still growing into
Jeez.
that body. Yeah,
Jeez, man. That is
there's also
crazy.
this is also just a big impact for Auburn in general. In-state win, getting a guy like Cam Coleman to flip him from A&M, but also to hold off Bama and everyone else who wanted a piece of him as well. Yeah, this is awesome for Hugh Freeze. It's very telling what they want to do. If they can sell Cam Coleman right on what they want to do offensively with the quarterback position and pushing the ball down the field, you can sell me as well. And obviously, the transfer portal window is not closed yet for the full season. It's still going to open up in the spring. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, I'm not too, you can't bank on your quarterback to come in the spring, but regardless, so whether it's going to be Walker White or Hank Brown or, I guess Peyton Thorne again, I still think Cam Coleman can make those guys better than they are.
I mean, is there a good quarterback left in the transfer portal? I can't think of any.
Well,
Maybe
you could damn well see a guy like, Dylan Longnerham or Jalen Milroe. One of those Alabama guys might leave. A Ohio State guy might leave. Michigan guy might like. There's all these quarterback competitions that are going to happen in the spring, and if the writing's on the wall on where it's heading, you might get yourself out of there. But also, if you're Auburn, you don't want the second scraps of your rivals, right? You want to be a guy that gets your first option. Obviously, it didn't happen this year in the portal or even on your roster. We'll see where Walker White comes in. I don't think he's ready to come in right away, but regardless of Cam Coleman, it's just he's incredible. He is incredible, and he's
yeah.
also, he's
I know
what
Sam Jackson committed to Auburn, but is he even playing quarterback for them or is he playing receiver?
he'll be a receiver for Auburn, which is the right move for him. He's a
Okay,
freak athlete.
that's what I
Quarterback was
thought.
not going to be his future.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman's a guy. He grew up in Phoenix City, right? That's if you know the Alabama geography. That's 20 minutes from Auburn Stadium, right? That is right by
Yeah.
Auburn, and Opelika right there.
Why didn't Logan Fife go to Auburn?
Yeah. Or how about a guy like who's our UNLV Jade Maeva? Jade Maeva. And anyone.
Like I'm
Dante
looking at
Moore.
like Blake Shapen, I'm looking at AJ Swan, Clay Millen. I mean, Chandler Morris. I'm looking at a gigantic list of guys that went to other schools that I don't know if Auburn tried, but man, I really hope in the time that Cam Coleman is in college football that he has a quarterback that can do in the football because he's so good. He's so